Really, that's what happens. Oh, hey, audience. So, my upload schedule's been pretty fucking bad. Now, you're probably wondering, why, Stryker? Why? It's a Vivitar. I got the fucking tripod and everything that went with it, but there's a problem. This thing records not only for less than 20 minutes without dying, it also records AVI files. So you already know, it's pretty fucking bad. Now, I don't know how well the quality for this video is going to be, but hopefully it's just better in general because I'm so tired of not being able to finish a video in one day like I used to. But anyways, today we're going to talk about something special. So, if you haven't noticed, I really love Jojo. Jojo is one of those things where it's like, it's not really an anime, it's more of just like a show that anybody can enjoy. The storyline's not like some big titty anime bullshit like usual animes really portray. And it's really great to just not know what's gonna happen next when you're doing a story. I'm not talking about the comics today. Oh no. We're talking about the game that came out in the 90s for the PS1. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go play JoJo's Venture. Come along with me. Now please keep in mind, for this video to go over well, you're gonna actually have to know the storyline of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So if you haven't seen at least the third season, Stardust Crusaders, there's gonna be a problem, and you're gonna have to solve it. But for real, yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled for any JoJo shit, just don't look at this video right now. Watch it after going and watch it. I mean, all of the shit is literally free on Viz Media's, like, site. You can go and watch all the JoJo episodes, like, right now. I'll leave this link in the description if you haven't started. So, let's just get right into this fucking game. Of course, we don't have a PS1. Actually, I think we do. Hold on a second. Huh. We do have a PS1. Well, might as well put in the fucking game. Go. Done. As you can straight away see with the style of this game, you can very much tell it's definitely from the fucking 80s. But we're gonna go straight into the story mode for this game, because why would we try anything besides the story mode in a game that's literally based around fighting? It only makes sense to do that. Keep in mind, this is also my first time using a PS1 emulator, so you're in for a fucking treat. Playing with a keyboard on a game meant for a fucking joypad experience? It's not fun. Remember, this game follows the comic, not the actual anime, so even I was in for some surprises, because when I first watched JoJo, it was the animated format version. And let me just say, the fighting in this game is so brutal and unforgiving that it makes Mortal Kombat look like a sissy game. But I will warn you, the one thing you don't want to do in this game is get cocky. Also, I'm aware this is not a PS1 controller. Roll with it. This game not only has well done art, well done sprites, it also features art from the fucking manga. And the best part, it actually follows the storyline almost to a T. And yes, even though fighting games alongside FPS shooters are some of the games that I'm actually decent at, I'm still pretty fucking ass at this game. One of the most surprising things about this game is the fact that they turned Tower of Grey into a playable character. You could have done that to any of the characters, but you turned the Bug into a playable character, which is just mind-boggling to me. His fight's really not that difficult, besides the fact that his hitbox is more or less smaller, and because he's incredibly fast, it's really hard to just fucking hit him repeatedly. Especially with Hydrafink Green, whose attacks I could not really grasp at the time. Look at these peasants over here fist fighting a bug. You know what we do when we want to fucking take care of a bug problem? We sports tennis racket. Next, you're gonna get into the fight with Polnareff, where he's still being controlled by Dio in the story. And let me just say, Avdol's character is probably the most span-worthy character you can have, and when it comes down to it, Polnareff is just really hard to use unless you're a fucking pro at the game for some reason. Remember, you're most likely never going to lose a fight to a Frenchman, because the Frenchman usually only knows how to wave the white flag. Keep in mind, I'm skipping most of the cutscenes here because I already am well acquainted with the story of Stardust Crusaders. I even went back and watched it with a couple of my friends because we really enjoyed it. And but for the last time, Maria's thighs are better than her ass.
No. Ass.
Thighs.
Ass.
Thighs.
Ass.
Thighs.
Ass.
Fuck you! Suck my tits! Little did I know, though, there's gonna be a lot more to this game than just fighting. Oh look, another storyboard part. I guess I'm just gonna skip ahead and try to get past this, cause, wait, what the fuck is... The fuck was that? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they put quick time events in the places where they couldn't actually have a stand fight. Hit or miss, you do not actually want to miss because apparently these things are mandatory for you to get right, otherwise you just straight up lose the campaign. And deadass, they're not exactly interesting. They're pretty annoying, to be honest. Okay, deadass, I want you to take a second, listen to the audio of this encounter and tell me how annoying it is on a 1 to 10 scale. Now picture repeating that like 5 or 10 times and tell me how fucking annoying it is gonna be in your ear ringing like that, like a fucking siren. But thanks to some black magic fuckery we call the quick save option, we were able to skip past most of these things and continue on with the actual game. Now what did I say about black magic fuckery in the house? Oh shit. That's why you don't buy fucking props from China. There we go. Shit. Broken gun aside, we finally got past that shit and now we can move on. Now if you know the next part of the story well, this is the part where we get to the giant ship which contains the stand user named Strength. Now, if you don't know about Strength isn't human. You know, just examining the ship and then out of fucking nowhere, monkey. Oh, diddle darn god, it's disgusting. Monkey. It's downright fucking awful design. Who made this thing? He makes Big Chungus look skinny, cause damn boy, he thick. Monkey! Horrific design aside, we gotta move on to the game mode that comes with Strength. Basically, to make it feel like it's an actual first-person, like, experience, they're making it to where you have to point and click around to punch Strength in the face, while also dodging obstacles and not hitting the girl. But, to be honest, I still cannot get over the fucking design of the monkey. Maybe it wasn't them that went wrong. Maybe it was the comic book. Let's still take a look. Yep, I got the comic book, and I can very much say he's still pretty horrifying in the fucking book. I mean, look at him. He looks like an abomination. That's not a monkey. That's a fucking mountain troll. After beating Strength, you go down, and you finally get to the part where you get to play as Polnareff for the first time. If you know the story, the guy comes out of the fridge, you stab him a bit. Then you were supposed to fight his puppet, but instead in this version, you fight him and the puppet. And let me just say, that puppet is a little shit. I hate fighting it. It's super annoying. Just recall that this is the first fight where the difficulty increases quite a bit, and then it starts getting harder and harder from there. Now, the fight with Yellow Temperance is a bit special, because if you remember, there was a big meme that surfaced from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure whenever Kakyoin was the one he was disguised as. Long story short, he will literally stop mid-fight and just do that. Hello. Next up, we move to one of the 3 most difficult fights in the storyline, which is the fight against Whole Horse and the Hanged Man. You're probably asking, what's so strong about it? This motherfucker will literally fire so many fucking shots into your ass, spamming them consistently, that it will legitimately just piss you off. It's like playing against a fucking 9-year-old who can't beat you legitimately, so they just start spamming. This level of difficulty is not uncommon in these old games, but that does not mean it's not complete fucking bullshit. Thus is why I concede that Whole Horse has what we call the triple game. This fight legitimately took me, like, at least 30 tries to get right. And not only that, you also have to fight the Hanged Man, who's only available to kill you in reflections while you're fighting Whole Horse. I'll tell you one thing, feller, that wasn't very yeehaw of you. But after finally beating him, I can conclude that Whole Horse needs to stop horsing around. After that, the levels are not exactly the hardest, but let's just be honest here, it's a JoJo game, it's gonna get pretty hard. Next is the Quick Time event where you fight the Empress. For some reason, it looks like an eggplant. I don't like eggplants. Followed by that is the Quick Time event where you fight Wheel of Fortune, the car. What's wrong, kid? You never fought a car before? Next was one of the more interesting ones where you gotta fight a horde of zombies before you finally get to fight Justice, the stand owned by Eniaba, or whatever the fuck you want to call her. You know, she is a grandma, and if you called her Jojo, she'd be Granny Jojo. Gumball Jojo reference confirmed? This one's only difficult if you don't take care of all the zombies before trying to hit Emiaba because her stand does hella fucking damage. The next part comes to where you have to fight the stand lovers, which is that tiny one that infiltrates Mr. Joestar's brain. Sounds easy enough, right? Now you're stuck in a Galaga-based minigame where you gotta go around in his fucking brain and get to the fucking lovers and stop them from trying to plant some kind of fucking seed in his brain. Keep in mind, this shit is not easy. You gotta get through both of these fucking levels without dying, with no health buff. All you get is these fucking coins. And keep in mind, Hydrophant and Silver Chariot are both separately controlled with different buttons. And to make it even worse, in the second boss fight, the tentacles that they use in it make it look like something incredibly different. Guess you could say, nice going, Dick for brains. This is why Karen took the fucking kids. Even though it was hard, the fact that you get to punch the guy 1,000,000 times after you're done just makes up for it, I guess. So, it's a win-win. Plot twist, Jotaro is actually a tax collector, and the lesson here is to pay your taxes. The next one is a sun stand game where you gotta guess the location of the stand by looking in the tiny mirror in the bottom corner. It's not that hard, but I didn't grasp it at first, and let's just say I didn't take more than one try to do. Next one is the dream fight with the stand Death 13. All you gotta do is get really really close to him and don't stand too far away, and basically the fight is yours. And if you got any reason to disagree with me, just calm down. Don't be such a lolly-ho. In the next fight, Avdol finally reappears to fight the genie and his clay dolls for Polnareff or whatever. What's that? Avdol died? That's silly. Don't be silly. It's not like he was shot by Ninja Sensei Derek or anything.
Is that a crab with a top hat and a monocle?
This one's ridiculously easy. Just kill the dolls and then spam over X where it'll launch up and hit the fucking genie guy. Oh, and when you win, he does that funny thumb sound. I already said that the Jojo anime and the Jojo manga, not the same. For some reason in the anime version, they decided to remove this stand user. They only used her stand in the submarine, and that was it. You can become self-aware of this because even when they got to land and they found the girl that was the stand user, they literally wouldn't even show her face just because it was removed from the entire animation. But in this version, you get to actually see the stand user. For some reason, in the American version, they decided to remove her. I guess it's because she has some big ol' anime titties. Trust me when I say, while this stand is not exactly the hardest, it's pretty annoying because it spams this move where it makes you flop back and forth on the ground while she laughs at you. Oh yeah, huh? You think that's funny? You make a fucking fool out of me? I ain't a fucking fish, ho! Well, it did take me a good few times to beat her, even with this very, very, very weird super move. I can definitely say, Whole Horse was still harder. Oh yeah, let's not forget, this bitch can make cars to hit you, and that is not okay. Oh, and by this point, we also discovered something really spicy. This game helps you unlock progress by the more you play it. The more you play it, the more points you get, and the more shit you unlock. And also, keep in mind that back in the day, most of these games didn't even have a fucking save point, so thank fucking God somebody remembered to put one in. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You have finally reached the halfway point to this game. At this point, you're finally in the African desert, and you just gotta basically beat Nadul. Now, how do you beat Nadul? Just do not stop walking and jumping. Like, literally, it's that easy. Like, yeah, you'll take a few hits, but Nadul literally dies in one hit, so it really doesn't matter. You cannot defeat me, Jojo. For you see, I am legally blind, which means I basically cannot see shit. The next part is actually the Oingo Boingo section, which basically it's just a quick time event thing again. I personally didn't like the style of the Oingo Boingo bits in the Jojo anime, but Mythical thought they were great just because they had like 60 frames on that shit. Understandable, it wasn't a bad animation style, but nonetheless it made me feel like I was on drugs. Also, fuck the bit with the Orange Bomb quick time event because honestly, it fucked me over so many fucking times out of just pure luck. Trust me, there's more than one annoying orange on this earth. The next fight is the one with the sword Anubis, aka the stand that literally takes over your body. Now, if you remember the anime, you have to fight this stand not once, not twice, but 3 times. And now we're gonna talk about the worst fight in the entire fucking game. This sorry motherfucker is Possessed Polnareff. It's where the Anubis stand possesses Polnareff and basically means, hey, you're gonna have to fight your friend to win. The wide variety of moves given to him make him extremely broken. His 2 super moves will literally take almost more than a quarter of your health. If you get hit by Silver Chariot's fan attack, you might as well just fucking reload. If your health is low and you hit you with that attack, then you're basically done for already. His most annoying move is his ability to counter, which literally breaks your fucking shield and knocks you down, where he basically just finishes you off right there and then. When you finally do kill him, you feel so relieved, even though it was based purely off the luck of the draw. I still get flashbacks from that fight to this day. They're in the trees. Next up is the fight with Mariah, where you finally get to play as Joseph, aka the only time you get to play as Joseph. They should call him Indiana Jones, because I treasure him. Yeah, to be honest, Mariah's fight really isn't that difficult either, so it's just an easy win to play as fucking Joestar. Next up, we finally get to fight Darby the Gambler, meaning that this game is sooner or later going to come to a close since we're near the end. Now remember, there's 3 games, so there's 3 games here, but also, you gotta remember that in the anime, you lost the first 2, and that's how Polnareff and Joestar got claimed. Just like the anime, you're gonna lose the first one because it's his cat. Of course, that's 1 down. The second one is the coin game. Let's be honest here, you're gonna lose this one too. So basically just flop it and get turned into a coin because there's no chance of you winning. Bada boom, that's 2 down. Now, of course, we get to the final part where Jotaro literally intimidates Darby through poker. And as somebody that's never played poker, I had no fucking clue what I was doing, but decided to just fucking wing it. Now keep in mind, most of these game modes that aren't the basic fighting, they're literally just leisure games you can go back and play later. This game has slowly evolved into an all-in-one console. According to what I was doing, you're supposed to purposely lose, get to a point where you're at really low and he starts doubting himself, and then it just does what the anime does, and he just ends up going insane from the bet. Following that is the fight with Whole Horse and the Oingo Boingo Kid. Basically, in this fight, the only thing that's different is there's no Hanged Man, but now, since the Oingo Boingo Kid told him to shoot into a pipe at noon to kill everybody, if he does the pipe move, you have to hit him before the thing enters the pipe and comes out, otherwise you're literally just gonna fucking die. He's not as formidable as before, but he's still a force to be reckoned with, and it did take a few tries to actually beat him. Next, we get to fight as one of my favorite stands in the entire Jojo franchise, Iggy, the dog. This was one of the most intense fights in Stardust Crusaders, but surprisingly, it was very easy to just win. And I'll tell you why. It's because Iggy's stand is literally fucking broken. I still get to whoop ass as a fucking dog, so 10 points. As you can see, we're finally getting closer to the climax of the game. The only problem is, this is a feature that was implemented earlier with Mariah. You could either go with, Polnareff and Jotaro, or you could go with Joestar and Abdul. With Joestar and Abdul, you get to fight Mariah. In this, if you select the wrong path, you only get to see half the story. Unfortunately, I chose the one with the younger Darby brother, and it was just a bunch of quick time events, so we're just gonna skip past it. And now we get to finally fight the final boss, Dio. You fight Dio 3 times. Once as Jotaro, once as Polnareff, and another time when he finally awakens his vampire power by sucking off your grandfather. Wow, that sounded wrong. Remember, the world, aka Dio's stand, can stop time, so not only is the stand itself broken, his fucking superpower with the knives is also extremely broken. Not even kidding, this boss took me like 43 minutes and I wanted to commit necrope. I got to the point where I was so bad with Polnareff in this version that I literally had to quick save when I got Dio's health to a low enough point to just fucking nay-nay him. It literally was that bad. And after the first two, it only gets worse. If you ever seen a vampire do steroids and crack, that's literally what this last boss fight is. You're probably wondering, can it get any worse? Yes. He also spams. But since it's that hard, it only makes it even better when you finally beat his stupid ass. And just like that, you kick his ass, he dies, epilogue, roll credit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the entire JoJo's Venture story mode. There's a lot more to the game, like the leisure mode you can go back and play, as well as arcade mode, and overall, the game's a fucking blast. If I had it around when I was a child, I probably wouldn't have much more of a childhood. I probably would have spent it inside playing this fucking game. Thank you guys for watching through the entire video if you made it this far. We literally started this at fucking, I think it was at 8 this morning. It's now 3:28. It's almost 3:30 in the afternoon. We've been working on this for more than 5 hours. And Ambone's been sitting here listening to me the entire time because he's a sick bitch. So tell Ambone to get better soon. But anyways, that is it for this video. If you guys like it, make sure to like and subscribe. And to end it off properly, Ambone, I need you to say the N-word.
Yo, it's Strikey Dawson, and you know he ball. Cautious. YouTube gang got competitors. Nauseous. Lumberjack gang bang, bouncing like a orangutan, tryna fuck with the gang. Offensive and he insane. Disrespect, he the law, you need some therapy. Engage in that psycho and call it Chief Cherokee. Motherfucking masterpiece, big belly laughing, hit a hearty hard. Bitch blowing out left, can't stand that we go hard. Opposites attract, enemy, game and rap, we do it all. Strap, if you need criticism, give Strikey your call. That's all, motherfuckers, better give me your all. Then before you leave, don't you dare mess up the vibe. Hit that bell icon, like and subscribe now.